I mostly work, occasionally sleep, and watch far too much television.
I spend a lot of time with my roommates. We hang out a lot. Lots of video games. Lots of just doing fun stuff with them. Spend a lot of time on the computer. I'm a big internet junkie. I haven't had a lot of homework recently, so I've been going to the gym a lot.
I don't have a lot of free time with two jobs, so at night I watch a lot of TV and I sometimes hang out with my boyfriend.
If I'm not working, it's usually either hanging out with my roommates or I take dance classes.
I like small groups. One-on-one, you get kind of weird, awkward silences sometimes, but groups of 5 or so, that's good times.
I like both. I like to kind of spread it out. I don't think I'm more one or the other. I definitely like one-on-one because I definitely have like a good group of close friends, so I just love spending one-on-one time with. But I have no problem hanging out in groups either. It's pretty much both. I like
One-on-one, straight up. I mean, it's fun to have the attention of lots of people, but at the same time, I think that you get much more information out of people one-on-one as opposed to in a large group where it's just really superficial.
Not necessarily one-on-one, more like small groups, like maybe 5 or 6 people. You get a wider variation of topics. You can talk for longer with more people, but at the same time, I don't like huge groups because then it's not really personal.
I don't want to say. Let's say 15.
Oh gosh, me? A lot.
Way too many. It's part of my job, so like add 40 hours plus whatever I spend at night online, so it's quite a lot.
Maybe like an hour a day of leisure. If I have like a research project or something, then it's more.
Predominantly face-to-face, unless it's kind of business-like, where it's all, I have to get X, Y, and Z done. Can you help me out with that? Otherwise, it's mostly family dinners and other such events. We have a lot of big family.
As far as like immediate family members, like my parents, I talk with my parents on the phone once a week. Or if there's other things going on, we'll talk more than once a week. But usually we have our standard like once a week hour phone call with my parents. Other family members like cousins and aunts and uncles are mostly email.
Family is one-on-one or on the phone. My parents are divorced, so I spend a lot of time talking to my dad on the phone and avoiding his phone calls.
Telephone. It's still more personal. I mean, my mom has just been introduced into texting, so she's texting me a lot now. But other than that, like everywhere else, I just talk on the phone.
Also online, I guess, with people who've gone cross-country for school and things like that. Do a lot of like online email.
Well, like one of my best friends was studying abroad last year, and I used Skype to talk to her a lot. For the real long distance stuff where the phone becomes expensive or impractical, email, Facebook, and then Skype.
Long distance, that would be, I guess, on the phone or online.
Calling, or if life gets too hectic, it's through Facebook, most likely. We all got Twitters so that we can like kind of update each other without having to actually take time, I don't know, take time out of our lives, but that just sounds mean.
Usually by trying to say something stupid and shock them, but mostly face-to-face.
Acquaintances would probably be text messaging and then just in person. Like I have plenty of people who I just know from class, and they're just, you know, I'm in a small major on campus, so you have a lot of friends that you just see in class. So those kinds of people, I'll talk to them whenever I see them in person.
I don't usually, I guess it would be in person because I don't know them well enough to have their phone number or anything like that, so it's kind of like, if you see them, you say hi, but That's basically it.
Facebook.
I try to be as cordial as possible, but I think it generally comes off that I don't want to be talking to them. I'll basically accomplish what needs to be done with them and then be on my way, say a project or studying. Well, yeah, that's face to face. But unless I have to, usually telephone.
Well, for example, I just kind of broke off a relationship recently, and she was none too happy about it, so we text message. If something has to be said, like, by the way, I left this at your house, it's pretty much done through text. That's the most, like, least personal way to really get in touch with someone.
I wouldn't be the person who's initiating the contact, so they would obviously be coming to me. Let it go to voicemail, and then take it on your own terms. I mean, I guess it's kind of like, if they send you an email, then obviously you answer the email in your own time so that you can word it in such a way that isn't offensive, even, like, especially if you don't like them. And if it's a phone call, then obviously you don't take the phone call, and then you think of how you want to answer, and then you call them back.
Group projects, it's more like email-wise.
Oh, you gotta do that in person. Who hasn't had that weird conversation on the phone where, oh, we did this, but you can't explain it properly. You had to be there.
Things are complicated, I definitely try to do it in person. Because, you know, text messaging and email and Facebook, those are pretty detached. The phone is personal if the person's far away, but if there's really something serious to talk about, I'm always an in-person kind of person.
Like, I guess in a work setting, you want them to know what you're saying and you want to be able to refer back to it, then obviously you do that in email and you want to do it in writing so that, like, you have proof that you said, okay, I explained this to you, you're an idiot, like, come on, let's go. Otherwise, if it can be done faster over the phone, then you do it that way.
Prefer face-to-face and verbal communication just because you can get whatever challenge it was out of the way and resolve it faster.
I'm not a phone person, so I usually don't call someone to say, hey, what's up?
Yeah, definitely just text messaging. Simple, fast.
Whatever's fastest. Usually fastest is best. Like if it's my friends, then texting, for sure.
Texting. Yeah.
In-person interaction, mostly. I like it. In-person is always best. It's everything else becomes secondary to that. It's just not the same.
But probably text messaging, and which will lead to talking to them in person. There's places where text messaging works, and then there's places and times where it really doesn't. It's simple. But the problem with text messaging is you lose a lot of stuff through it. You lose tone of voice, word choice, facial expressions. Like you lose those like social cues you get. Like there's no sarcasm over text messaging. So it's good for the simple stuff like, hey, can I interview you for a project? But if it's like, I don't think we should be dating anymore, that's probably not a good thing for text messaging.
Phone, texting, in person. I mean, I'd prefer if everyone was like in the same place and accessible. Obviously, like being face to face is really nice, and like being able to like converse over having like lunch or dinner or something like that. But usually that's not. You have to coordinate, and so you have to be on the phone or you have to be texting, and you have to coordinate. So yeah, I guess it depends.
Texting, definitely. I mean, I guess like we all have such varying schedules, so by texting we're not interrupting, or we can text in class or at work. I mean, we don't do that. It's just the easiest way with our routines throughout the day to stay in contact. Not really. I mean, at the end of the day I see them, so I still get that face-to-face interaction. It's just texting is the most convenient method.